She fell off the bike.
We saw blood in her elbow.
Dali natin siya sa ospital. Tulong! Tabanin ko, tulong!
Ano nangyari dyan? Excuse me, ma'am, you're not allowed.
Why I am not allowed? She's my daughter.
Because this is the rule of our hospital. Composition of blood. So, we have the components of blood. The liquid component is called plasma, a mixture of water, sugar, fat, protein, and salts. The main job of the plasma is to transport blood cells throughout your body, along with nutrients, waste products, and antibodies, clotting proteins, chemical messengers, such as hormones and proteins that help maintain the body's fluid balance. The plasma is about 92% of water. It contains 7% vital proteins, 1 mineral salts, and hormones and vitamins. So this is commonly given to trauma, burn, and shock patients, as well as people with severe liver diseases. So next we have red blood cell. The most abundant cell in the blood, accounting for about 40 to 45% of its volume. Next one is we have the white blood cell. These blood cells protects body from infection. And lastly, the platelets. The blood clotting process involves gathering at the site of injury. So platelets are not actually cells, but they're rather fragments of cells. So, ayun po.
At ang dugo ng tao ay sticky, opaque fluid, heavier and thicker than water. Color range, oxygen-rich blood is scarlet red. Oxygen-poor blood is dull red or purple. Metallic salty taste blood pH is slightly alkaline between 7.35 and 7.45. Blood temperature is slightly higher than body temperature at 38 degrees Celsius or 100.4 degree Fahrenheit. Blood volume about 5 to 6 liters or about 6 quarts. Or blood are found in a healthy adult, blood makes up 8% of body weight.
Ano yun, Dok? Paano mag-produce ang blood ng katawan niya?
May tinatawag tayong blood cell show. It is the process of making blood cells that is called hematopoiesis. Blood cells are made in the bone marrow, yung spongy tissue located sa mga bones natin. It contains young parent cells called stem cells. Itong bone marrow na to, nag-produce siya ng blood cells, white blood cells, at platelets. All blood cells come from a single type of unspecialized cell called a stem cell. Itong mga bone marrow na to, it produces more blood cells in response to infections and bleeding. Certain conditions may trigger additional production of blood cells. So, hindi po kayo ma-worry na mawawalan ng dugo yung anak niya kasi mayroon tayong bone marrow po.
Okay. Ganun ba, Dok?
Opo. So, for further information po, Nanay, nandito po yung co-doctor ko para i-explain sa inyo na mas broad kung ano pong nangyari sa anak niya po.
Okay, Dok. Salamat, Dok. Dok, gagaling po ba ang anak ko?
Gagaling po siya, Nanay, sa pamamagitan ng hemostasis. Dito papasok ang hemostasis. It is how your body stops bleeding. It is a collection of several processes that occur when your body forms blood clot. Blood usually clots within 3 to 6 minutes. The clot remains as endothelium regenerates the clot is broken down after tissue repair. Hemostasis involves three phases: vascular spasms, platelet plug formation, and coagulation or blood clotting. Step 1 po nanay is vascular spasms. It's immediate response to blood vessel injury. Vasoconstriction causes blood vessel to spasm. Spasms narrow the blood vessel, decreasing blood loss. And step 2 po nanay is platelet plug formation. Collagen fibers are exposed by a break in the blood vessel. Step 3 is platelets pile up to form a platelet plug and become sticky and cling to fibers. And the last one po is step 3. Coagulation. Injured tissues release tissue factor, which is TF or TF. TF po nanay interacts with blood protein clotting factors and calcium ions to trigger a clotting cascade.
Anak, gising ka na pala. Basta ka, anak. Sige, huwag mo. Doc, may I ask kung anong blood group ako?
Unang-una po, there are 8 blood groups and there are 4 main blood groups. Your blood group is determined by the genes you inherit from your parents. Each blood group can be either RHD positive or RHD negative, which means there are 8 blood groups in total. Blood is made up of red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Your blood group is identified by antibodies and antigens in the blood. Antibodies are proteins found in plasma. They recognize foreign substances such as germs and alert your immune system, which destroy them. Antigens are protein molecules found on the surface of red blood cells. Red blood cells sometimes have another antigen, a protein known as the RHD antigen. If this is present, your blood group is RHD positive. If it's absent, your blood group is RHD negative.
Hey guys! So for today's video, I'm going to answer the questions because I got a lot of questions about the human blood. And of course, I'm going to derive and to explain all of your questions. Alright, so the first question I got is blood a fluid connective tissue? Alright, so actually blood is composed of 55% plasma and 45% formed elements, including red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Because of these living cells suspended in the plasma, blood is considered a fluid connective tissue. Actually not a fluid. It is the only fluid tissue in the body. And now I'm going to answer the second question, which is, what does blood provide? So, the blood absorbs oxygen from air in the lungs. It actually transports the oxygen to cells throughout the body, and it removes waste carbon dioxide from the cells. In the lungs, the carbon dioxide moves from the blood to the air and is exhaled. Alright, so I've got the third question in here, and the third question is, what is the function of blood? Alright, so I'm going to derive what is the function of blood. So, blood plays a large role in digestion and endocrine system functions. Digested nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream through capillaries in the villi that line the small intestine. So these nutrients include glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and fatty acids. Blood also transports some hormones secreted by endocrine system glands to target organs and tissues. So for the fourth question is, how does blood regulate body temperature? So blood absorbs and distributes heat throughout the body. It helps to maintain homeostasis through the release or conservation of warmth. Blood vessels expand and contract when they react to outside organisms such as bacteria and to internal hormone and chemical changes. These actions actually move blood and heat closer to or further from the skin surface, where heat is lost. Another question. What is function of platelets? Nice question, by the way. So yeah, when a blood vessel tears, platelets and plasma proteins work together to stop blood loss. Platelets, also called thrombocytes, clump and form a plug in the damaged area. So the proteins from threads called fibrins to complete the platelet plug or clot. Alright, another question. What happens to the waste product carried by the blood? So blood transports waste substances to the organs that remove and process them for elimination. So blood flows into the kidneys through the renal arteries and out through the renal veins. The kidneys filter substances such as urea, uric acid, and creatinine out of the blood plasma and into the ureters. So yeah, actually the liver also removes toxins from blood. During digestion, it cleans blood that has been enriched with vitamins before sending it back out to the rest of the body. You know, it's very interesting, you know. So yeah, here's another question. Can one of you describe the RBCs? Of course. So yeah, blood is 55% plasma and 45% formed elements. Red blood cells, also called erythrocytes, make up most of that 45%. Their primary function is to transport oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body. So red blood cells are disc-shaped. They are flexible and bioconcave, flat and round with depressed centers. Alright, so I got 2 questions left. And okay, the second to the last question is, what blood cell protects us from pathogens? So interesting, you know. So yeah, white blood cells, also called leukocytes, are the disease-fighting components of blood. So they account for just 1% of circulating blood but multiply during infection or inflammation. So there are 5 types of white blood cells. The first one is neutrophils, second one is eosinophils, the third one is basophils, another one is lymphocytes, and the last one is monocytes. So neutrophils are the most abundant, comprising 60% to 70% of all white blood cells. Alright, and for the last question, where do blood cells come from? Nice question. Okay, so yeah, blood cells develop from hematopoietic stem cells and are formed in the bone marrow through the highly regulated process of hematopoiesis. So I'm so sorry about that. So yeah, going back, hematopoietic stem cells are capable of transforming into red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. These system cells can be found circulating in blood and bone marrow in people of all ages, as well as in the umbilical cords of newborn babies. Stem cells from all 3 sources may be used to treat a variety of diseases, including leukemia, lymphoma, bone marrow failure, and various immune disorders.